I recognize in my own life, if I can name the season that I'm in, I can have gratefulness looking back at the seasons that I've come through, and I can have hope looking forward to the seasons that are coming next. Hello, and welcome to Rejoicing in Motherhood. I'm Kirsten Vossler, a mom of 10, and I love being a mom. I am here to encourage, inspire, and equip you to thrive in both motherhood and in life. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the show. I am so glad you are here today. You can listen to the Rejoicing in Motherhood podcast wherever you like to listen to podcasts, and you can watch on video on YouTube and on Spotify. Hey, would you do me a favor and just take a quick second to go and leave a 5-star rating and review? This helps the podcast so much because it enables us to be able to get in front of more moms who are needing this kind of encouragement, who are desiring this kind of content. So your review means the world. Plus, I love hearing what you have to say and all the things that you're learning and loving. So thank you so much for taking a couple minutes to go and do that for me. The other day, my husband and I were on a date, all alone, with none of our children. We went out and we got a picnic lunch and we drove up to a lake and we sat on the dock and looked at the beautiful fall colors and we ate our picnic lunch and we talked for like 2 hours. It was so nice. And as we were sitting there, enjoying ourselves, all by ourselves, just the two of us enjoying our marriage and talking about all kinds of things, I thought to myself about all of the years that we didn't have that opportunity. I thought to myself of all the years that we had tiny babies who needed to be cared for constantly, or little children who couldn't be left because we didn't have a babysitter. There were so many years that us going out on a date in the middle of the day for 2 or 3 hours was not a reality. And yet now in my life, it is. And I looked at my husband and I said to him, I don't think when we were in the midst of raising our tiny kids, I don't think anybody ever told me that this was coming. And so today, I want to spend this next few minutes talking with you about seasons. What is your season? What season is behind you? What season is in front of you? Because I recognize in my own life, if I can name the season that I'm in, I can have gratefulness looking back at the seasons that I've come through, and I can have hope looking forward to the seasons that are coming next. So it's October. We are in the midst of a whole season change all across the world. In the Northern Hemisphere where I live, we are changing from summer to fall. And wow, I tell you what, in Idaho, it is a glorious fall. This has been one of the most vibrant, incredible falls that I've experienced in a while. The colors are incredible. The air is crisp and cold. I mean, it is amazing. It's like it turned from summer to fall almost overnight here. And it's been pretty fun. A little bit of a shock, but pretty fun. And you know, our motherhood journeys are very similar. There are winter seasons, there are spring seasons, there are summer seasons, there are fall seasons. And they all just kind of cycle around and around and around, just like the seasons in our natural world. And every single season has its blessings, and every single season has its challenges. And that doesn't make one season better than another, and it doesn't make any season bad. And the thing about seasons is that they come and they go. They don't last forever. Although when you're in the middle of it, it kind of seems like it's going to. We just finished a great and glorious and hot summer here, and we loved it. And there are times in the summer, in the middle of July or August, that you kind of sit around and you just kind of feel like it's always going to be like this. And then I start thinking to myself and imagining, you know, one of these days, all the leaves are going to fall off these beautiful green trees. And then at some point, all of my grass is going to be covered in 2 or 3 feet of snow. And we're going to be shoveling snow to make a path to the car so we can get in it to drive away. And we're going to be scraping off the car because there's going to be ice on the windshield. And it's so hard to imagine that winter time when you're in the middle of summer. And then when you get to winter, you kind of get used to that. You're going through the winter, you're shoveling the sidewalks, you're scraping the ice off the windshield and turning the car on early to warm up and always bundling kids in coats. It's coats and boots and hats and mittens and all the accessories. And anytime you leave the house just feels like you're going on a trip because you have so much gear you have to take with you. And in those days, summer feels like a distant dream. Imagine being able to just throw on flip-flops and go out the door and not need a coat and not need a sweater and not need a hat and all the other paraphernalia that we bring with us everywhere. And so often in our lives, especially as moms, we can look at the season that we're in right this minute and go, this is never going to change. This feels endless. And it does feel endless at that time. But there's going to be another season that's coming up where we're going to be able to look back on that season and go, oh, that wasn't as endless as I thought it was. So listen, if you are in a season right now that feels kind of challenging, that feels tough, that feels tired, I have been there with you, and I might be right there with you now. So let's talk a little bit about the seasons of motherhood. We have the first season, which is no kids, wishing for kids, hoping for kids. And for some, that season feels really, really long. For me, it wasn't very long because I got pregnant about 3 months after we got married. I was ready. I was so excited. It was our plan. We were so desirous of having a family, and it was great. And then I had this little newborn, and that newborn season, especially with that first baby, wow, with the first one, it seems really long. Spoiler alert, after you've had 2 or 3 kids, the newborn season seems extremely short. But with that first baby, I remember just feeling like, when is she going to do something? Because all she ever does is just kind of like stare off, or she sleeps, or she just kind of lies there. Like, she was kind of boring. Like, newborns don't have a lot of output. They just kind of are there. And I love that about them now. But with my first one, I was just like, yeah, this is kind of boring. And so I was so excited when she started making eye contact and smiling, and then eventually beginning to coo a little bit and reacting to me. And I loved it. And we moved into this other beautiful season of just this connection with this one little baby, this one little person that I was just getting to know. And we loved each other so much. And then the next season of having 2 kids came along. And I loved being pregnant. I was so thankful to be pregnant with our second baby. I was excited. I was ready. And then I had 2 kids, and they were 2 kids under 2. They were 16 months apart, my first 2. And I entered another season of 2 babies. I loved this season, but it was different than the season with only 1. Those early days of having 2 under 2 there were parts of it that were challenging. There were parts of it that were very, very tiring. I was on 100% of the time. And then I moved into this very interesting season where my firstborn was about 2 and my little secondborn was about 6 months old or 7 months old, and they started to play together and interact with each other. And all of a sudden, my season changed again and my life changed. And I could not believe this. I remember one day, they were playing in the living room together. And I actually had a few minutes to grab a magazine and sit down and begin to read it. And I remember thinking to myself, what is this life? I haven't sat and read a magazine since before my first baby was born. Who would have thought that having 2 babies under 2 years old was actually going to create more time in my life than less? And that was a great season. Then I was in the season of 3 babies under 3 and then 4 babies 4 and under. And that was a busy time. And it was wonderful. It was all kind of in this time frame where my husband and I almost never went on dates. As you can imagine, we were very busy at home. We had all these little children to take care of. We didn't have a big budget. And we were at home most of the time together. We would go on little day trips and little outings together as a family, and my husband and I would get away if we could, but there was very little time and money to do so. And I remember thinking in those days, and it gave us pause sometimes when we thought about how quickly our family was growing, because we thought, is this how it's always going to be? Can we do this forever? How long can we sustain having baby after baby after baby? And it gave us some things to think about. Well, the Lord showed us, no, I am good. I love you guys. I want to give you good blessings and good gifts. And so we trusted him in that. But the season had not yet changed. We were still in the midst of that. Lots of diapers, lots of babies, very little time together, date nights only a couple times a year. We didn't have family close by that was able to help support us. And so we just did what we had to do. And we got through that season. But you know what? When I look back now on that season of 5 little kids, 6 little kids, I look back on that time with so much delight and so much joy because I really made the most of it. If you are in that season with only tiny kids, even a bunch of them, I want to encourage you to make the most of it. That doesn't mean you have to enjoy every single minute. That doesn't mean you have to be constantly skipping around saying, oh, yay, this is my favorite thing I've ever done in my life, and I love every second. You don't have to be fake about it. I know it's challenging. I know it can be hard, but I want to encourage you to see the joy, to be grateful for where you are, and look back on the previous season with gratefulness too. Because when we have a grateful, thankful heart, no matter what season we're in, it gives us a better perspective and it gives us hope for the future. So the season that I'm in now is that my 3 under 3 are now 3 teenagers. And my 5, 6 and under are now 10 and up. This is an entirely different season. I still have a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old. But guess what? I also have a 16 and a 14 and a 13 and an almost 12 and a 10. Life is different now than it ever was before. I love the season that I'm in right now. I relish it. And the interesting thing is I'm in several seasons at once because I'm now in the teenage season. I have 3 teenagers that I love, and the teenage years are awesome. And we are having so much fun together and really getting to know one another as adults. And then I have middle kids, and they're all doing what the middle kids do. And then I have a bunch of little ones, and they need the daily correction, the supervision, the making sure they don't jump off of the kitchen table or run into the fireplace. They need all of that highly hands-on mothering. And so I'm doing lots of different things all at once. I'm in many different seasons at one time. And I am so thankful for the previous seasons that I've had because they have taught me that every season has meaning and value and that every season is worth being grateful for. So in this season that I'm in right now, because of our family dynamics and because of the way that we have raised our kids to love one another and to be good contributors to our family, my husband and I can go on dates several times a week if we want to. We can go out together and be alone. We can have time to focus on ourselves and our marriage in ways that we haven't done for years and years. And it is wonderful. And I'm so thankful for it. And I share all of this to let you know. If you are in the season that I was in several years ago with only little children, I want you to know that a new season is around the corner. Another season is coming. That doesn't mean you need to rush through the season that you're in right now. That means you can stay in it with confidence, knowing that there is another season around the corner. I think if someone had told me when I had 5 little kids, 6 and under, don't worry, you'll be able to go on dates with your husband whenever you want in just a few years, I think that would have helped me. And so that's why I'm telling you this today, because I want you to know that whatever season you're in has beauty in it for you right now. And also, there is hope for the seasons coming in the future. My friend, I love you. I am so glad you are here with me today. Do you want to hang out more? I have a few places we can do that. First of all, I love Instagram, and I'm on there a fair amount. So come on over to Instagram at Rejoicing in Motherhood and find me over there. And secondly, if you want to hang out more in person, I also have a membership group for Rejoicing in Motherhood. This is a place where we're creating a virtual neighborhood, a sisterhood, a connection place for moms who love the Lord, who love their families and who love their husbands, and who want to just be the best mom you can be, and you want a little encouragement and community while you do so. This is an online group, so you can join from literally anywhere in the world. I'm doing trainings every month that are particular to the group. I'm also doing live Zoom calls and Q&A sessions where we can all get together and see each other's faces, and it's pretty fun. So if you want more information about that, just go to kirstenvossler.com/membership. And lastly, I would love to have you come and join my email list. It's totally free, and I email whenever I can. Sometimes it's weekly, sometimes it's monthly. Let's just be real. But go ahead and go over to kirstenvossler.com/newsletter, and you will be able to sign up right there. And along with that, I would also love to send you a special gift of a little 3-day devotional called God's Heart for Moms, which I think you will love. My friend, I bless you today with gratefulness, a heart of gratefulness for whatever season you are in right now. That through that gratefulness, you would begin to experience the joy of the Lord being your strength in every single day and in every single area of your life. In Jesus' name. That's all for this week. I will talk to you again very soon.